Welcome back to Forgotten Working Class Podcast. I am Tiffany.
I'm John.
Today we have with us a very special guest. Everyone, I'd like to introduce you to Kelsey. Thank you for being here with us.
I'm so excited.
It's very nice to have you. Everyone, you can find her on TikTok at the spicy sparky Kelsey. She's also what we like to call a triple threat at our blue collar apparel line, arcingahedapparel.com. Triple threat stands for beauty, brains, and blue collar. So yes, you are a triple threat in our eyes. You are beautiful.
Well, thank you. From? I'm in Colorado. I'm in northern Colorado area.
Okay.
Very nice. How old are you?
I'm 34.
Okay, same as us. I'm 34. John's 35.
Pretty cool.
Are you married? Do you have children?
Nope. I mean, I'm not married. Yes, I have children. I'm single. I've decided that dating is also not for me. So I'm just building my career and being a mom and focusing on being a really great friend. And it's been really, really good. So I've been super blessed. My 30s have easily been some of my best years with my career and my kids and life. So
that's awesome.
That's awesome to hear. We love bringing on the blue collar women who are just literally married to their careers and want to just grow and advance.
Yeah.
It's been something that I've been able to throw myself into and find a passion and a purpose that I haven't found anywhere else in anything else. And it's hard not to be married to it when it fulfills you in such an amazing way.
That's so awesome. So what do you do for work?
So I'm an electrician. I do both industrial and residential service. My specialty is waste and water treatment facilities. We do a lot of lift stations and vaults and just kind of stuff like that. And then I do residential service for a friend of mine and kind of on my own. And the more messed up it is, the happier it makes me. So I enjoy fixing things.
That's awesome. And you really don't see very many female electricians.
No. I think I've met two. In person, I have met two. The woman who hired me and then one of the females that works for my company are the only two female electricians I've ever met.
That's awesome. How long have you been doing this?
I'm on my 4th year now. So May is my 4-year anniversary of becoming an electrician.
Wow.
So it's cool.
How'd you get into it?
I was working nights at a factory and building decks on the side as a side job and met up with somebody who was also working for the same company. And he had told me that I should call his girlfriend who owns an electrical company and that she would hire me just because I was a girl. And I was like, I don't think that people do that. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's illegal. And he was like, no, seriously, she wants more women in the trades. And if you could hang out here building decks with the guys, like you would be just fine being an electrician. And I was like, I don't even know anything about electricity. Like I can flip a light switch on and I can plug in my phone charger, but I don't know anything else about electricity. And he was like, don't even worry about it. Just call her. I was like, okay. I end up calling her and I'm like, I don't know what this is about, but like, I'm kind of interested because I hate working nights. She's like, why don't you come do a working interview? See if you like it. Maybe you'll be awful at it. We'll never know. So I went and did a working interview. We were working on this commercial space and she made fun of me for how bad I stripped wires all day. And at the end of the day, I was like, I freaking love this. This is amazing. The blueprints just made sense to me and like the circuitry made sense to me immediately. And I was like, I think I want to do this like as a job. And she's like, okay, deal. Well, if you can use a whole hog on top of a 6-foot ladder, I'll hire you. I was like, okay, bet. Like I used to build custom furniture, so tools don't scare me. I was like, you got to bet. So I did it, and 4 years later, here I am.
That's crazy.
That's awesome. Yeah. So whatever that word is for ignorant women like me who are not blue collar, what did you just say? You used what on the top of the ladder?
A whole hog.
What's that?
So it's basically like a giant drill with like a giant hole, an auger that makes a hole to go through studs and stuff.
Okay.
So in a residential setting, you would use it to drill your holes through your studs to run your wire.
Gotcha. Okay. Very
Yeah,
cool. So you love it. That's awesome. Did
I
they
do.
take you, like for any training, or you just did all on the job training?
To both. So here in Colorado and in most places, you have to have 8,000 hours, which is 4 years on the job training. And then here in Colorado, you only have to have 2 years of schooling to get your license. But in places like Wyoming and some other states, you have to have 4 years of schooling. So my companies have all sent me to school. It's just one night a week that I go to classes. It's 4 hours, like during a normal school year. And then I'm doing all 4 years just because I want to be able to get my license in multiple states. But it's been good. I'm coming out of it not having to pay for anything myself. So
That's nice.
Yeah,
it
that's
is
cool.
really cool. Yeah.
So
So
you definitely want to be an electrician forever, you think?
yeah. Until my body doesn't let me anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Manual
think
is definitely hard.
eventually I'll probably move into the office. I really love recruiting and I really love teaching and working with high school students. So I think eventually once I get old and my wrists don't want to turn wire anymore, I'll probably move in and be a superintendent or something like that. But
That's awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
And your kids, are they boys, girls?
I have a 6-year-old boy and a 9-year-old girl.
Do you want them to be electricians too?
Yeah, if they're good at it, if that's what they want to do. My boy child is 6 and he's already decided he's going to be an engineer. So I really push the Lego robotics with him. And my girl child is, she's at that age where she wants to be a veterinarian. Like every girl has to go through that stage. And then, she thinks that maybe she might do something in electrical. She loves to help me work. But honestly, I would be happy as long as they find something that's purposeful to them. If that means that we get to work together and they're also electricians, absolutely, I support that. If they decide to, to make bad choices and become a plumber, I will support them in that too. But
Right. I know that most dads, I like to ask that because most dads want their kids to follow in their footsteps. And us moms, we're just like, we want you to be happy, whatever makes you happy. But blue collar moms, they do want their kids to follow in their footsteps too. So I like to ask.
I like to teach.
Uh-oh, you're frozen.
Oh, sorry. My phone is trying to update as I'm talking to you. I take my kids to work with me, especially when I do side jobs or like when I'm doing residential service, they'll come and help me pull wire or like I'll teach them things because I want them to understand the problem solving aspect of what we do. Because I think like one of the biggest things I tell like my apprentices and my kids is like, you can either be a problem solver or you can be a problem maker. And if I can teach them young how to understand a problem and all of the steps that come with solving that problem, I feel like that teaches them how to be a more functional adult. And if that's what they take away from working with me, it doesn't matter to me what their career is because they'll be able to succeed in a world where we aren't raising problem solvers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's like 100% because if you look at kids like the teenagers now and you hand them a can opener that's not electric, they don't know how to use it. Half these kids, they have no life lessons. No one's taught them anything.
I was just stop you, but I was just saying we are like the last generation of adults where when we went to school, they only had the office phone and maybe the nurse had a phone. Everybody after us, cell phones came out, laptops came out. Everybody's so freaking distracted all the time from social media shit now. But guys, if you are listening, this is why I love to bring the blue collar babes on because we use our head as women. You're trying to teach them how to solve problems and stuff. I hope this resonates with a lot of people everywhere.
I have these apprentices and I call them my baby children because I get to end up being like the mom on site. And I'm just like, why can you not multitask? Like, do you not understand? And they don't get it. And so I'm like, okay, let's break this down. I'm going to mother you. And I'm sorry I'm using the mom voice, but I don't know how else to teach you other than like, this is how you wipe your butt and this is how you use a drill. Like,
and this is how you not get electrocuted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always a good one.
Promise you do not want that.
No. I go from being a mom at home to being a babysitter at work. That's one and the same, but I do really enjoy what I enjoy most about it is like you teach these kids how to do the job themselves, and then they get to come to you and be like, guess what I did all by myself. And I'm like, I'm so proud of you. You're growing up, but they're like, there's such, for me, that's where I find the most satisfaction and like purpose is like, I love to see people succeed. I love to see these kids move on and get employee of the month and move on and have somebody tell me like, that's a high quality apprentice. And I'm like, that's so cool to me because like, I got to be a part of teaching you, and now you're recognized as being a high quality electrician or somebody who has really great potential. Because I think the training process, as when you start into the trade, it's either going to make or break you. You're either going to have a really great experience and you're going to find your passion for the career because you love it and it's really cool, or you're going to have a really am I allowed to swear on this?
Good.
Okay. You're going to have a really asshole teacher who is going to kill your whole vibe. And then you're going to be like, I'm just here for a paycheck. I hate this. And when you don't love it, you're not going to thrive. You're not going to succeed. You're going to end up like so many of the men that we see in the trades that are alcoholics and hate their lives. And it's like, you've totally lost your purpose. And so if I get to bleed into these kids, my joy and my love for something that has provided for me and my kids and is just really freaking cool, then like when they succeed and they understand that is what fulfills me. And like, it doesn't matter if I don't get any recognition because I get to see my kids, they're my kids. I get to see my kids succeed. And that's the coolest part about it.
I love it.
That, and when they, like you said, they come to you and they say that, I did this and they're happy.
Yeah.
That's really good because when you do take pride in your job, you don't even have to tell somebody. It just makes you happy that you figured it out. You solved that problem, you fixed it. And that's going to make them want to learn more and more and more and more.
Mm-hmm.
By the time they're done,
it makes the quality of your work better. Like when you stand back and you look at your something and you're just like, damn, that's pretty, and you're like, I did that. Like, I'm going to show everybody on site that I did that. Like, you want that. Like, you want people to want to have that. And in commercial, everything is covered by drywall, which is why I don't like commercial. But like in industrial, you have these gorgeous pipe runs that everybody's going to see, and there's going to sit there for 20, 50 years. I mean, I go into vaults where the pipework is 50 years old, and I look at it and I'm like, God dang, were they on drugs when they did this? Like, this is awful. And that's why when I do my pipework, I'm like, this is going to sit here for 50 years, and somebody's going to come back and be like, damn, I want to know who ran that. Yeah. Like, yeah. I make jokes with my coworkers. I'm like, the day that I meet a man that makes me go, hot dang, the same way that I do when I look at a nice pipe run, that'll be the day that I'm like, okay, God, like I heard you Amazon deliver this man. He's right here. I look at him the same way I look at my work. I'll keep him.
I fucking love you. I love it.
You need to start signing your name under all your work.
Right.
I have considered it. Yeah, like I just need like a little metal, like you know how they put the nameplates on your equipment? I just need to put a nameplate on my pipe work.
I used to weld MFP on stuff.
Yeah. So did you grow up in a blue collar family?
No, I didn't. Can you hear my dog? Do you want me? No. Okay, good. I didn't actually. My dad was a stockbroker, and then he ended up, he was self-made. So the entrepreneurial mindset I definitely got from him. But he was a stockbroker. He was a Marine. Then he was a stockbroker. And then he moved into being the VP of a medical sales and coding company. And he passed when I was 13. And my mom was blessed to be able to be a stay-at-home mom through all of that. And then my stepdad, I guess, was kind of blue collar. He worked for the federal government for like water. Like he worked with farmers and stuff to make sure that their water rights and like all of, I don't know. I couldn't explain it to you very well. It's a whole lot of stuff I don't understand. But it is kind of cool to work on water treatment facilities now, knowing that like it's kind of correlated. But no, not really.
Not, and I'm self-made.
Yeah, it's kind of fun because all of my siblings are blue collar, technically, or like we're all in the trades. So I've got a brother who's a detective and a sister who just bought her first hair salon, or she bought out her partner. So she's the full owner of a hair salon, and that's super cool. And me as an electrician, it's really cool for all of us to kind of be in the trades of different sorts.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Very cool. So tell us about your life. What do you do for fun?
I mean, I'm a mom first, so I get to coach my kids. I coached their volleyball teams this last year. That was super fun. And we do a lot of outdoors activities. So my kids and I really like riding dirt bikes together and paddleboarding and wake surfing. And I'm not a hiker, even though I'm in Colorado. I loathe hiking. I think it is the bane of my existence. But we do really like to like camp and kind of keep that like dirty kid mindset of we get a little rowdy.
That's awesome.
But after my divorce, I kind of tried to figure out like how to level up. You know, I got out of a pretty ugly divorce and you recreate yourself in that aspect. And I've been super blessed to create this group of women who are all like-minded. And a lot of them are like blue collar, just bro chicks that are just badass and driven and beautiful. And I love surrounding myself with them and spending time with them, because for me, that's what fills my cup and that's what keeps me able to like going 100 miles a minute. And so, you know, we do typical girl stuff, wineries, and I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to Vegas this weekend for a girls trip. Well, for a friend trip, really, but
damn,
I'm excited about it.
That's awesome. We've never been to Vegas.
No,
I'm going to try and remember it this time. I don't remember the last time I went.
Yeah, so. Jeez. We're also not gamblers. Every time I gamble, I lose. So.
Or drinkers, but
yeah. I don't know that I'm going. Well, we're going for NFR, so there's like Cowboy Christmas, and I'm mostly just excited for Western fashion. Like if I had another lifetime to live, I would be a girly girl in Western fashion or something like that, because I do love all of the girly things. So I get to wear all the rhinestones and sequins and fringe, and yeah, I'm really excited about that. So I gotta go.
All your pictures, and you look absolutely stunning in all the Western wear.
Thank you.
Where does it
I really enjoy modeling. It's not like on the forefront of what I do, but I have a couple friends who are photographers and a couple new photographers who reach out, and I get to help them kind of build their portfolio. And I just get to get dolled up and go smile for pictures and do fun stuff. So like if I get to go be a princess when I'm covered in dirt 90% of the time, absolutely. Please remind me that I'm a girl, because it's easy to forget.
I love it. But seriously, in every picture, like you have that turquoise hat, absolutely gorgeous. And then you had a sheer dress on, which was absolutely gorgeous. I just love it all.
Is it like the
Thank you.
No, but so pretty. That's so awesome that you get to do that.
Thank you. It's a lot of fun.
You did get to be a princess for a day.
I did. That was so much fun. So my college sent out an email asking for volunteers for royalty. And I was like, I already teach at the college. I get to teach some labs at the college. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm happy to help volunteer. Didn't really think much of it. I was kind of like, oh, it's probably just an event at the college. And I'll stand at a booth and talk to people, dress up as a princess, whatever. Like, didn't think much of it. So they emailed me back and they're like, hey, we chose you to be the princess. And I laughed because I was like, well, that's just ironic. And my coworkers were all laughing at me. They were bowing at me all week. Like,
oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So I went on Thursday to go try on the dress to make sure it fit. And she was like, just make sure that you wear costume makeup because like you're going to be on the float and you know, like the lights are going to be real bright and stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. And she's like, and, you know, TV really washes you out. And I was like, I'm sorry, what did you just say? And she was like, yeah, the Parade of Lights. And I was like, this is for the Parade of Lights? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go panic. And she's like, yeah, there's only going to be like a couple 100,000 people in the crowd. Oh. And I was like, okay. I'm not panicking. You're panicking.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, so get all dressed up, show up for this event. I get all the little girls are just like, you're Elsa, which is cool. Got stopped in the lobby like probably 15, 20 times for pictures. I was like, this is the closest I'm ever gonna be to being a celebrity. But yeah, I gotta ride the float and just wave at people. Like the little boys are looking at you like you're the love of my life. And you wave at them and they're just like, I'm dead. And the little girls, and it was so much fun. It was an experience I didn't realize was on my bucket list, but was definitely one of those things. It's like, when are you ever going to get to ride in a parade as a princess and like do something like that? It was so freaking cool. And that's
awesome.
The way that, you know, 9 News, I don't know if you saw the video, but 9 News, the way that they talked about the college was so cool. And to like to experience it as the princess is one thing. That's just, it was so cool. And then to like watch yourself on TV and listen to the whole news station talk about the college and being an apprentice and like what they have to offer and how important it is and all of these things. I was like, I get to be the face of something that I believe in so thoroughly. Like, this is mind-blowing. Like, the high of that's going to last for quite a while. But it's just so cool to get to be a part of, like, representing women in something that I love so much.
I think it's just awesome that they're like, oh my God, this is Elsa. And all the moms and dads are like, look at the princess. And then you're like, I'm also Electrician. And they're like,
right?
Hold on, let me grab my tool belt while I'm at this.
I should have put my tool belt on my dress.
Wait, seriously, you looked absolutely stunning.
It was so much fun. Yeah, all the guys, a decent amount of my company came, which was really cool. You know, and everybody was so supportive of it. And, but I got a lot of texts that were like, hey, I heard you're being a pretty princess. And I was like, I am a pretty princess, actually.
I love
but yeah, it's so much fun.
Do you work for a big company?
Yeah, so I work, do you want me to say my company name?
You don't have to say the name, just like how many employees?
Like 900. We're in Colorado, Texas, and Tennessee. So, yeah, it's pretty big. I work in the industrial division, so there's not as many in industrial as there is in commercial. We're kind of the cream of the crop. So if you're an industrial reject, you're not a good electrician. But yeah, it's really cool. It's big enough that there's a lot of perks in working in a big company, and then industrial is small enough that we're like a family. So everybody knows everybody. Everybody is tight-knit. Our superintendent is very much like, I say that I get princess treatment because of how well I'm taken care of. But because we're a little bit smaller, like my superintendent can really like, when I'm like, hey, I don't have a babysitter these 2 mornings because my babysitter canceled or she's going out of town or whatever, like, can I be late? And they're like, yeah, be a mom first. And then like I just bust my ass when I get there to make sure that I make up that time so that I don't take advantage of that. And it's really, really nice to like have the perks of a bigger company.
Yeah,
that's what we want to hear.
It's amazing that they can help you out with that, knowing that you're
Yeah.
a single mother and they cut you that slack and help you out.
We were actually talking to somebody recently who was saying that they're giving maternity and paternity leave now in her state. So to hear that these blue collar companies are starting to acknowledge and recognize all the time that you miss and inconveniences like that with babysitters, it's nice that they're respecting you guys more.
It is. And I mean, sorry, keep going.
You said you're in Colorado, Texas, and Tennessee. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you travel?
I don't have to travel. I travel around northern Colorado, so I'll go like up to Fort Collins. Like there's not much work in Greeley, but like Fort Collins, Loveland, Wellington has a big project right now, a lot around Denver. There's a lot of jobs in Colorado Springs, but I don't have to go that far. We're in like Pagosa Springs, which they offered us a job, but I'm not trying to live out of a camper with 2 kids. And so I like just within the Rocky Mountain region is where I travel. But like they opened Texas and then they just recently opened Tennessee. So it's like 2 different or 3 different branches of the company. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, if I wanted to up and move, I could easily transfer.
I was gonna say, you could always, if you wanted to move from here to there, you always have a job.
Yes.
That's awesome.
My superintendent would probably kick my ass though if I left him. So.
Well, it definitely sounds like you're doing a lot for your company by taking in these under your wing and helping.
I'm so blessed. Like I get to be a part of the community partners program that my company has. So I get to help with the outreach for a couple of the like programs that we sponsor, like the 501(c)(3)s that we work with. So my passion project is moms and kids, but I also get to work with some like inmates and stuff like that. So I get to help coordinate events and how we're going to like set up money and what we're going to like our volunteer time and how we're going to donate and all of that. So like I get to be a part of that, which is really cool. And like that allows me to stay connected with the company. And there's just so many opportunities like within a bigger company. There's the council and the other female electrician, she's a part of the council and her specialty is the apprentices. And it's just really cool to be a part of a big company and have a way to connect. And the opportunities that I have to get put in the rooms with people that matter, that are important, that I would want to be on their level, it's there. And that's, I think, my favorite part about my company is that they recognize that that's where I want to be. And they're like, what can we give you? What training do you want? Here's the people, here's the connections. When they found my TikTok a year ago, they asked me if I wanted to help with the marketing and running the company's TikTok. And like, they just are kind of like, here's a buffet, eat, tell us what you want. And that's been like, the company that I worked at previously hated the fact that I was a woman in the trades. And so to come here, I'm like, I just am so spoiled. And it's been really cool. So I like when I tell people, one of the pieces of advice that I give people when they come into the trades is like, if you're somewhere where you're not appreciated and you're not growing, leave. Fucking leave. Don't stay.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. Don't take anything that's lower than what you are.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you're hopping around, there's this guy once who was like, I've been an electrician for 15 years and I worked at 20 companies. And I'm like, that's not something to brag about, bro. Like, sit down. Like, tell me you're hard to work with. But honestly, if you've been in a company for, a couple years and you don't feel like there's growth, or you're stagnant, or you're just unhappy, like, find somewhere else. There's so many opportunities. Yeah. I mean, I did oil and gas before, and oil and gas is, it's a rough man's world out there. And I made it for a year and a half. And then after that, I was working 14s and 16s, and that was really hard.
Yep.
Because there was a point where I was like, somebody else is raising my babies, and all I'm good for is a paycheck. I can't do this anymore. And yeah, so then Wayfield actually recruited me, and I was like, it's been a godsend.
That makes me so happy.
What are your hours now?
I do either 410s or 5/8s. And then I work for my company, and then the woman who is the reason I'm an electrician, I still do service work for her company, and then I do a little work on the side. So I typically work around 60 hours a week, just because I've got my kids full time, and they eat like grown men, and sports are expensive these days.
Yeah.
Yes,
So I work quite a bit, but I don't have to. My company just has me at 410s.
That's good.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, working all those hours sucks. And then once you pass 60 hours, you're in that whole tax break where your paycheck is, if you're making 20 an hour, well, really, you're only doing like 10 an hour now.
Yeah.
They take a whole bunch of money out.
I think 50 is the sweet spot. Like, you work 50, you get a good chunk of that money, and you're not wasting your whole week.
So I am curious, going back a second, it amazes me how much your company does for so many different things, but you were talking about inmates. What are they doing for them?
Yeah, so we do there's a lot of programs to teach inmates like trades, and they're pushing it really hard. And I couldn't tell you the name of the program. Actually, I could tell you the name of the program right off the top of my head. I just had a meeting with them yesterday. It is called I don't remember. I'll tell you in a second. But so they do a lot of teaching the trades for inmates, and that way when they get out, they have a livable skill and they can hit the ground running. And so what we do is we basically come in and we offer skills or training or resources, any of that we can offer. And that's in Texas and Tennessee and Colorado that we work on with that. So that's really cool, because if you know anything about blue collar, like, there are a lot of men with records that do blue collar. And like, if you don't have a record, like, you probably need one to qualify for some places, but it's really cool, because like, we're really big into our veterans as well. And I think there's something about a brotherhood that's in the trades. And when you come out of both, like, I don't know, like, we do a lot to try and keep kids out of gangs. And I work with a lot of teenagers who come into my labs, and I look at this group of kids and I'm like, y'all look like some punks. And I get to teach them like a switching lab of how to wire stuff up, or a bending lab. And the responses that I get from them, and like seeing their joy of accomplishing something, I'm like, I really love this. It does not matter that you have 47 piercings in your face. Like, that's freaking cool. Like, come hither. Let me teach you. Like, let me show you that there's a life outside of getting stuck in one of these Denver gangs. And I really love seeing that. So,
does your name tag say Mama Kelsey?
So I wish. It should. It should.
We're gonna make you a shirt that does.
Yes.
You know what's funny though is, like, I talk enough shit to these kids that, like, they know not to mess with me, but at the same time, like, I get phone calls of like, hey, I need your advice. Like, can I pick your brain? And I'm like, yeah, of course, baby child. I would love to help you out. Like, please call me. And that's the coolest feeling, because like, I'll call you thumbs all week, and then you'll call me at the end of the week for advice. I love that, because I'm gonna make you tough and wise, and I want you to advocate for yourself. And if that means I get to toughen you up, but then you learn how to, like, advocate for yourself and your knowledge and your education, and you're going to succeed because of that, I've done my job. That's my whole role.
Yeah, that shows that you're doing something right.
Did you graduate high school?
Yes, I did graduate high school. I actually went to college. I thought I wanted to be a nurse. I'm really fucking bad at school, so I didn't do that.
We met somebody else who thought they wanted to be a nurse as well, but went into the trades too.
Yeah, I think, you know how like our generation, all the boys who didn't know what they wanted to do with their life, they went into the military. Well, like all the girls went to nursing school. And now all of us are in the trades together. So.
Yeah, I went right into blue collar.
Well,
yeah. I didn't know that was a thing in high school. I
did. I grew up in that. That's what my dad was a welder for 45 years.
Okay.
So I kind of grew up in the whole blue collar world.
Sure.
So I knew that's what I wanted to do.
So when you were born, did he just slap like toxic right on your chest or what? Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't read it when I met him, but now, yes.
Yep. Out with a sailor, and they were like, "You're good to go."
Perfect. Yeah. That's cool though.
But
are your kids getting into it? Are they interested in following your footsteps? Your boy is hysterical with your safety videos. Those kill me. They're so funny.
Yeah, we had to like convince him, like, come on, let's just do one. And he was like, no. And then he did one. He was like, okay, maybe I'll do a second. And now he's like, Dad, can we make more? And I was like, yes, you're the safety man.
That's hysterical. Honestly, I was laughing so hard. I think it's fun. It's fun to include them in our lives, you know?
He wants to be a builder man. He wants to work with his hands. He's very mechanically inclined.
That's cool.
He really is. He's good with it. Like you said with Legos.
Yeah.
You just give him a box of Legos and he'll just build whatever comes to it. And it's a house or whatever. Yeah. My daughter, I don't know what she's going to do, but
she wants to model and act. But she's also very good with technology. So she can edit her videos. She even knows more about social media. And she doesn't even have it. But like the CapCut and all that stuff. And she's doing coding.
She's very, very smart. Very smart. Which is amazing.
Cool.
So her options are endless. I mean, she'll be able to do what she wants.
Yeah, it's nice to have kids that are a little bit more technologically advanced than we are. Like you try and keep them innocent for so long because you're like, you're a child. Like you should be able to enjoy your childhood in a way that we got to enjoy our childhood. But at the same time, she's like, Mom, I want a phone. I'm like, you're 9. You don't need a phone. She's like, well, when did you get a phone? And I was like, 15? Like,
yeah, 16 years old. It was the next
hour. And she's like, oh, that's not going to happen. I'm like, I'm aware it's not going to happen, but I can try my darndest to keep you from it.
Yeah, our daughter just turned 13.
Bless your heart.
Yeah. She wanted to go to college and she had dreams of modeling and this and that. And then all of a sudden one day she said that, I wouldn't mind being a YouTube star. And I was like, but that's not promised. Like you have to have a goal. That's not promised.
Yeah, this is secondary to the primary. The whole TikTok thing, like I started it as a creative outlet when I was doing oil and gas and like it was just fun. And then I had one video that blew up and then overnight it was like, okay, this is a thing. And then it kind of, as y'all I'm sure know, you're like, okay, I have this like little baby egg of like, what am I going to do with this? Am I just going to keep it as a hobby? Am I going to blow it up and make a thing out of it? And, there's just so many options with it and it's kind of cool, but it is, there's a couple guys that I follow and, Lexia Brew, who is amazing. And like, I would strive to be like her, but like, there are people who really make a secondary career out of like social media and like with the basis of being blue collar. And I think that's so cool that like we get to share it on a level that people actually blue collar is trending, right? That's pretty cool.
That's what I love to see is that all these guys and women that are blue collar that are making these videos and showing the world what we do.
Yeah.
Because most people, you ask, blue collar, and they're like, what is, oh, you're a mechanic. You're like, no, I do this. And they're like, well, what's that?
Well,
And
it's like
show
5 years
everything.
ago, before, right before he got hurt, I had no idea what the hell he did at work. He was trying to send me a picture. I'm like, what the fuck is that? All I see is dirt and grease, and you're in a white.
Yeah.
Like,
she just knew I came home
yeah,
covered head to toe in grease every day, and it was like,
yeah,
stripped down.
I believe that. I believe that.
I walked through the door.
But now I wish he was still working so I could see what the fuck he did. I have no idea still to this day.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, when I was married, my ex-husband worked on the rigs, and I remember just being like, why are you so dirty? Like, could you just, and he's like, you don't understand my job. And I'm like, I'm trying, like he would call and he would explain his whole job. And I'm like, I'm going to take notes and Google this so that I can like pretend like I care and I understand and like have a decent conversation. And now, like after working oil and gas, I was like, I get it. I get what you do. I get why this is important. And then explaining to my job, my job to people, they're like, you have to do math for electricity? And it's like, well, yeah, like you can't just plug your whole house into one outlet. Doesn't quite work that way, but it is cool. I'm glad that people are looking into it more and people understand that to be blue collar, you don't have to break yourself. Because I think a lot of people see, they see men who do have to work so hard, like concrete guys and framers and stuff. They do have to break their bodies to do their job, and it is really hard. But there's a lot of really cool blue collar careers where you don't have to wreck your body, and it is very mentally stimulating.
Absolutely. And I hope when people see this, that they do realize how easy it is. And the more people we're talking to, how easy it is to fall into these careers that, like you're saying, are not as backbreaking. And you have a buffet that they're giving you. Like, that makes me so happy to hear that as a woman, you are treated so well. Like,
it's really nice.
I won't say that blue collar is easy by any means. Even what we do,
easy.
You still have dangerous. It's very dangerous. And like you said, you do have to use math. So you have to be somewhat smart to figure it out. And if you make the wrong calculations, who knows what's going to happen? You could get hurt, or it's not going to work. You got to redo everything. So it's it's not easy. It's tedious. It's long hours, all that. So
it is. I mean, it is very physically demanding. I mean, once you do it long enough, you're kind of like, whatever. This is an easy day work. You're like, 4-inch Ocal, yeah. Like, it's how many pounds? Like, it is. It's heavy, and you will like go home plenty of days where you're just worn out. But if you have to be a little bit dumb enough and a little bit smart enough to do this, right?
That's probably
like you have to be dumb enough to think that it's a good idea and smart enough to not kill yourself.
And pretty enough to be the ice princess in the parade.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. I just have to be pretty enough to be like, I know I fucked up, but the award-winning personality makes up for that crooked pipe, right?
I love it.
We're going to get a picture of her in her princess outfit and put it on the back of a shirt.
Oh my goodness.
Mama her picture in the princess thing, support blue collar.
That's not a bad idea. I like it. I did actually get a brand made for me, like a logo or whatever. So I am working on some t-shirts. It's hard to find somebody to make t-shirts that my design is kind of colorful, because I couldn't imagine my design to not be colorful. Yeah. Like, it'd be so not fitting if it was just black and white. Like, my personality is too big for that. So I'm trying to get some t-shirts made with my brand, because I think it'd be super fun. But I was thinking about it. Like, all my coworkers want one. And I was like, if I showed up to work and somebody was wearing my shirt, like, I would probably cry. Do you know, that's so freaking cool to like have this. Like, it blows my mind that like I just showed up to work one day and was like, yeah, I'll strip wires and pull something and get dirty. Like, and now I'm like on a podcast and the Ice Princess in a parade and having the whole following where people like follow. I get the amount of messages I get of like, how do I do this? I love what you do. Like, please, can I have your advice? That's so freaking cool. I'm so blessed. And it blows my mind. So to have somebody like wear my t-shirt, I'd probably be like,
well, when you get it figured out, you come back on and we will be more than happy to show your stuff.
Yeah.
I would love that. When I get it figured out, I'll get it figured out. I have
the
like
best part is that you're only 34.
Yeah.
I know. People are like
far, so wait until like what's the future hold for you? Like I'm excited to see.
Simmer down, simmer down. This is already overwhelming enough, okay?
Are you gonna have your own float? It's gonna say Mama Kelsey, and you're gonna be the princess of that float.
Oh my god.
You're gonna have your buffet and eat it too.
Yeah. It's just so cool. Like the support that's out there. Sometimes it's so easy to feel alone in the world. And then all of a sudden, like, you're not alone in the world. There's so many people who are willing to support you if you ask for it and you put it out there. And I tell my apprentices that too. Like, there are so many resources, you just got to ask for it. You're not alone in this world. And it's just amazing to see it when it comes full circle. Absolutely. It's just so cool. I would imagine that y'all know better than anybody what that looks like.
Well, I mean, it is true how many people out there will support you, and you know, when you're offering help to people and how it comes full circle back to you, because it's not always necessarily from your family or immediate friends. It's from outsiders who are acquaintances who honestly have offered the most help. So you never know who's around to help you in social media. People are reaching out to you. Now they're reaching out to us, and it's so amazing. It's humbling, you know?
It
is. You don't even realize who's watching. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, okay, cool. Yeah. Like, I don't even know what to do with all of this, but it is humbling and it's such a huge blessing and it's just mind blowing. Yeah. It's overwhelmingly awesome.
Well, it's been an honor for us to have you on our show. I truly think you are so badass.
Like, oh, thank you.
You are accomplishing so many things. You're such an amazing mom. Like, I love looking at all your pictures with them. They are beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I'm raising a mini version of myself, and it's trying, but it's fulfilling.
Girl, that karma is real. Karma is real.
The daughter is her 100%, and then the son is me. And it's that karma really comes back to you real quick, and you're like, "Oh my god, is this what I was like when I was a kid?"
Yeah,
it is.
I heard something that was like, parenting the you out of your child is the hardest thing you'll ever do, and I was like, "That's facts." Because I look at my girl child and I'm like, "Oh, you want to do this? You think I've never done this before? Let's fight. I got this. Okay. I'm the mature one. I'm gonna, Lord Jesus, please bless me with patience. I'm like, don't challenge me to give me patience. I'm just gonna need you to dish it out. Okay, I didn't need the challenge, but that's cool. I'm not choosing violence today.
At least don't do it in public. And we had people on this screen with their child before come running in the room and we're like, just don't hit them on the screen.
Yeah. No, thankfully my kids are at school today. Otherwise they probably would have come in, Mom.
Yeah, that's exactly how that goes.
Right.
Yeah.
Matt, can you change the channel?
Don't come in this room right now.
Right.
Mom, you're like, oh my god, what didn't you hear?
Right. Where's the remote? I don't know.
Yep.
You were just using it. Yeah.
Well, it was so awesome getting to know you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
For everyone watching, again, you can find this beautiful ice princess, badass electrician, amazing single mother that I truly hope you find love in the future.
And a blue collar mom for the blue collar men that she works with.
You can find her on TikTok at the Spicy Sparky Kelsey. It has truly been a pleasure.
Yes.
Yeah, I really enjoyed getting to know y'all. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for coming on. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, definitely.